Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News Broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. We're ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I'm Charita Minipurarachi.
And I'm Kasani Balachandradhikari. Here are your top stories for tonight.
Representatives of 42 countries arrive in Sri Lanka to attend the 37th Asia-Pacific Region Conference. An American diplomat says Sri Lanka has set a fine example on how to come out of a crisis. Vegetable prices come down in many economic centres. 10 persons injured in a road accident in Sripada. Actress Christine of the Spellbinder teledrama series will appear in Nuga 7, a program of the national television tomorrow.
And I'm going to be chatting to Nilipur tomorrow morning on Rupavahini TV on the show Nuga 7.
Accusations relating to hiding the body of the Russian opposition leader who died in a prison. All tickets of the remaining T20 matches have been sold.
On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top story. The 37th Asia-Pacific Regional Conference of the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization will be held in Colombo from tomorrow till the 22nd of this month.
And more than 300 representatives from 42 countries are scheduled to participate in this event, and many of them have already arrived in the island. Representatives from Iran, Japan, Vietnam, Thailand, the Philippines, Indonesia, Samoa and Fiji Islands are among the participants of the conference. Head of the FAO of the United Nations, Koo Jong-yu, has arrived in the island this morning. The inaugural session of the conference will be presided over by President Ranil Wickremesinghe on the 20th of this month. Minister of Agriculture and Plantation Industries, Mahinda Amaravira, says the upcoming session would be the first conference to be conducted in Sri Lanka with the largest number of state representatives after the Easter attack, the COVID pandemic and the economic crisis. He also said that Sri Lanka will receive the chairmanship of the Asia-Pacific Regional Conference of the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization until 2026.
Assistant Secretary in charge of the Southern and Asian Affairs, Donald Lu, says Sri Lanka provides a fine example of a country which was able to come out of a crisis. Mr. Lu further says Sri Lanka 1.5 years ago was enmeshed in an extremely rigorous economic crisis, but today it has been able to be stable in many aspects.
And Americans love a comeback story, and so in the region I work on, there is no greater comeback story than the story of Sri Lanka. If you will go back with me in time a year and a half, you will remember a country in crisis. You'll remember mass riots in the streets. You'll remember lines for petrol and for food snaking around the corners. You'll remember the seizing of the president's home, protesters swimming in his swimming pool, protesters cooking food in his kitchen. If you've been to Sri Lanka lately, it's a very different place. The currency is stable, food and fuel prices are stable, they've gotten reassurances on their debt restructuring, and the IMF money is flowing. How did they do that? That's the question I wanted to explore with us a little today. The answer I would offer is they did it with a little help from friends. And this Indo-Pacific strategy is based on the premise that the United States and like-minded partners are going to try to offer a better proposition.
Our correspondent says vegetable prices at the Tambutegana Economic Centre has declined. It has also been reported that the Economic Centre has received a higher quantity of vegetables today than in the previous days. Despite a reduction in vegetable prices, the arrival of traders at the centre remains at a comparatively lower level. The selling price of a kilo of carrot and beans was between 500 and 600 rupees. A kilo of beetroot is being sold between 600 and 700 rupees. A kilo of cabbage was seen trading between 400 and 500 rupees. The prices of low-country vegetables have also come down. A kilo of brinjals was hovering at the range of 100 rupees and price of a kilo of long beans was recorded at 150 rupees. A kilo of red pumpkins was traded at 200 rupees and a kilo of green chilies at 500 rupees. Traders said that a kilo of tomatoes has gone down to 300 rupees. The main vegetable distributing centre in the upcountry, the Kapetipolis Special Economic Centre, has also recorded somewhat of lower vegetable prices, where some vegetables which were highly priced previously have fallen to 200 rupees. The reason being the markets receiving the vegetable harvest.
Group of activists who have extended support to the Sri Lanka Freedom Party have joined the United National Party today. They became UNP members at a program presided over by UNP General Secretary Palitha Rangibandara. The group of 48 SLFP members who joined the UNP included a SLFP member of the Kadawat Swatara Pradesh Sabha. They have received UNP membership cards from General Secretary of the party Palitha Rangibandara. General Secretary of the UNP, Palitha Rangibandara, says that their leader and President Ranil Wickremesinghe has accepted the responsibility of building the nation. He has courageously took over the challenge and the burden imposed in the general public is gradually receding day by day. He also said that they got together with the sole purpose of creating a conducive society and turning the country into a developed one.
Minister Dr. Bandhu Gunawardena says that a main operational centre distributing import and export items will be declared open during this year. The centre will amalgamate dealings in the 3 provinces of North, North Central and the East. The centre will be named as Visal Anuradhapura City Project, which will be centred upon the Mihintale and Anuradhapura towns. Minister Dr. Bandhu Gunawardena has made these remarks at a ceremony at the Bandaravilla railway station yesterday. The event was conducted in connection with the declaring opening of a newly constructed foreign tourist resort, restaurants and other buildings. The Bandaravilla railway station, which was established in the year 1893, is one of the most attractive railway stations in the island. Many programs are underway with the objective of further expanding the facilities being provided to local and foreign tourists. Minister Dr. Bandhu Gunawardena said that during this year they are hoping to make the northern, north central and eastern provinces as a logistic hub. He also said that the Mihintale and Anuradhapura towns will be elevated to the level of upgraded towns. This is one of the proposals in the recent budget. The minister further said that work is nearing completion in the construction of a railway track from Anuradhapura to Mihintale junction. Accordingly, railway line to Mihintale will be fully modernized. Another aim is to construct a super city in the middle of the country where fully automated containers are able to distribute goods.
Spellbinder was a teledrama series telecast over the national television which had become extremely popular among the viewers. Georgina Fisher, who had portrayed the character of Christine in the series dubbed as Maya Bandana in Sinhala, is scheduled to visit the national television tomorrow. She will appear in your living room through the Nuga 7 program. The Spellbind drama series was produced by the Australian Children Foundation in 1995. The dubbing unit of the national television had made arrangements to telecast the teledrama with Sinhala subtitles. Christine was the sister of the narrator Paul in the story. Fisher in the early stages was an actress, but later she turned into singing and composing of songs. Her maiden album Big City Hub was unveiled in 2015, but now she has released several albums including her latest edition Dig Down Deep. She has received tremendous attraction and commendation from local TV viewers upon Instagram and Facebook accounts notices of her arrival in Sri Lanka.
Look what they have done. Hi, it's Georgie here. I played Christine Reynolds on Spellbinder, and I'm going to be chatting to Nilipul tomorrow morning at 9:20 a.m. right here on Rupavahini TV on the show Nugra Sevana. I hope you can join me live for the interview, and we're even going to have an in-person meetup at 10 o'clock. So hopefully you can come down to the studio. I'd love to say hello to you in person, take a selfie, sign an autograph. Hope to see you there. Bye.
A vehicle parade prior to the conducting of the Sulohita Sangrame over the big match between Ananda and Nalanda Colleges Colombo was held today with the participation of a large number of students from both colleges. The Ananda cricket encounter is to be conducted for the 94th occasion at the SSC grounds in Colombo on the 2nd and 3rd of next month. Prior to the conducting of the big event, a vehicle procession named Legends of Maroons was conducted. The vehicles which commenced the procession near the two colleges have arrived at the Independence Square via Maradana Road and Borella. A helicopter of the Sri Lanka Air Force has carried the flag of Ananda College Colombo along with the procession of push bicycles, motorcycles and motor cars. The Defence Secretary, the Air Force Commander and the acting IGP and past pupils of the two schools have taken part in this parade. More local stories coming up right after this break.
Prima Kutumi, Pantamai.
Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
In more local stories, the body of late Minister Gamini Jayavikrama Perera was brought to his residence in Mahalawa in Pannula this morning.
The funeral ceremony is scheduled to be conducted at the Pannala Public Esplanade on Tuesday afternoon. The remains were carried in a motorcade from Topur Junction to the residence of Gamini Jayavikrama Perera in Pannala. The former minister, who was indisposed for some time, was 83 years old at the time of demise. A large number of public representatives had paid the last respects to the former minister today.
A domestic crop cultivation system has been introduced in the Mahaweli B zone in Polonnaruwa by the Sri Lanka Mahaweli Authority. And the aim of this program is to increase economic potential of farmers in the zone. 183 domestic cultivation units are expected to be installed in the Mahaweli B zone during this year. The indoor project is involved in growing crops such as capsicum, gherkin and chilies. The new methods enable to minimize the affliction of diseases to the crops and to earn a higher income. A significant feature of the system is the ability to own a higher revenue by spending a lesser amount of money. The Mahaweli official says under the domestic crops cultivation system, around 20 kilos of capsicum could be obtained from a single plant. Sri Lanka Mahaweli Authority provides a free training facility and credit facility amounting to 900,000 rupees to the farmers. The authority adds that a large number of youth have already been attracted to this new method. The official inauguration of the domesticated crops cultivation unit has taken place at the Anrapura village in Daminna in the presence of residence project manager of the Mahaweli B zone, Sugat Veerasinghe.
Sri Lanka's largest renewable power project, adding 6.5% of renewable energy to the national grid, is to be set up at a location closer to the Pooranil Reservoir in Kilinochchi. The anticipated power generation capacity is 700 megawatts. The total cost of the project is $1.7 billion. In parallel to this venture, the Pooranil Reservoir in Kilinochchi is to be constructed at a cost of 5 billion rupees. The waters of the reservoir is able to irrigate an extent of 600,000 acres of land. Out of this extent of land, 1,000 acres will be allocated for the generation of solar energy. Governor of the Northern Province, P.S.M. Charles, has presided over a meeting regarding the project at the office of the Governor in Jaffna yesterday.
And here's more local news items in brief. A van carrying Sripada pilgrims and a bus clash resulting injuries 10 persons. The accident has occurred in Billagahamala in Ginigathena on the Hatton-Colombo main road. 2 other seriously injured persons were transferred to the Navalapitiya hospital. 2 persons were killed when 2 motorcycles collided near the Neelam Mahal junction on the Maharapalli road. Our correspondent says one of the motorcycles clashed with a nearby bus. 3 persons seriously injured in the incident were admitted to the Kalabovila hospital, and the police says that 2 of the victims died this morning. 2 suspects have been taken into custody yesterday who were wanted in connection with the incident of shooting at a female worker in a shopping centre at the Meagod Economic Centre and snatching cash. Another suspect who was connected to a robbery in Pugoda on the same day was also arrested. Special task force have taken into custody of the 2 suspects hiding in Hambantota and Godakavela. Special task force was able to detect the firearm and the motorcycle used in the robberies, according to the information provided by the suspects. The National Language Studies and Training Institute has commenced a national diploma course in English language yesterday. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena has presided over the program, which is conducted under the Trilingual Citizen Project. Another ceremony in connection with the 36th death anniversary of Vijay Kumaratunga was held at the Pradeshya Sabha Auditorium in Ahliyagoda yesterday. Foreign news on the other side of this break.
Hot and spicy fun vibe with a vivara karana.
Welcome back with international news. And Alexei Navalny's mother has been unable to recover his body after his death in an Arctic jail. A close aide to the dead Russian opposition leader says.
Kira Yarmesh said his mother Ludmila was told his body would only be handed over once a post-mortem examination had been completed. Navalny's team believes the anti-corruption campaigner was murdered on the orders of President Vladimir Putin. A rights group said 400 Russians had been arrested for laying tributes. Western governments say the blame lies with Russian authorities for the 47-year-old's sudden death, while foreign ministers from the G7 group of rich countries called on Russia to urgently clarify the circumstances surrounding it. Putin has not publicly commented since the Russian prison service announced on Friday that Navalny had been taken ill and died at the remote IK-3 prison in the Arctic Circle. In the immediate aftermath, the Kremlin said it was aware and the president had been informed. Russia's foreign ministry said it rejected biased and unrealistic assessments over his cause of death made during a meeting with British officials on Saturday. Navalny was one of the most prominent faces of Russian opposition to Putin's regime and was serving a 3-decade sentence for politically motivated charges at the Polar Wolf penal colony in Karp, about 1,200 miles north of Moscow. His mother, Lyudmila Navalny, was reportedly told by the prison service that he died on Friday after collapsing and falling unconscious during a walk, his team said.
And Thailand's convicted former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra was arrived at his mansion in the capital Bangkok after being released on parole. The billionaire was freed from a police hospital where he had been serving a 1-year jail sentence for corruption and abuse of power. Thaksin, 74, was detained as soon as he returned to Thailand last August from 15 years in self-imposed exile. He did not spend a single night in jail after complaining of health problems. Thaksin's original 8-year prison term was commuted to 1 year by Thailand's king just days after he returned from exile. The handling of The case has led to criticism from many Thais who say the rich and powerful are often given privileged treatments. Thai authorities said Thaksin was able to for parole due to his age and health issues. They did not say whether he was released under certain conditions such as monitoring of travel curbs. Thailand's Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin told local reporters they had no plans to meet Thaksin yet, but that everyone in the government is ready to listen if Thaksin wanted to provide political advice. Thailand's most successful elected leader has long been feared by conservative royalists who have been back to military coups and continuous court cases to weaken him. He left the country in 2008 after being deposed by a coup 2 years earlier. He spent his exile years mostly in London or Dubai, and his family Pheu Thai party is currently in power in Thailand.
Terima Kutumi Pantamai.
And in your sports news tonight, all tickets for the second and third T20 matches between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan have already been sold out.
The second T20 match between the two countries is scheduled to be conducted in Tambulla tomorrow. All tickets for tomorrow's match and the match to be conducted on 21st have been sold, and therefore ticketing counters are being kept closed. A request has been made from the spectators by the Sri Lanka cricket to refrain from arriving at counters in Colombo and Tambulla with the hope of receiving tickets. The Sri Lanka team has been successful in securing a 4-run victory against the Afghanistan team. 18,000 spectators have watched the first match played at the Rangiridambul International Cricket Grounds, conducted for the first time after 6 years. The Afghanistan team, after winning the toss, has handed over the opportunity to bat first to the Sri Lankan team. The highest scorer of the Sri Lanka team, match captain Wanidu Hasaranga, has scored 67 runs facing 32 deliveries. His innings included 7 boundaries and 3 sixes. This was the second half century secured by Hasaranga in a T20 match. The Sri Lanka team has secured 160 runs in 19 overs. Fazal Haq Farzuki of the Afghanistan team has captured 3 wickets. The Afghan team, chasing a victory target of 161 runs, has opened the inning with the pair Ibrahim Sedron and Rahmanullah Gurbaz. They maintained a opening partnership of 25 runs and Gurbaz was out for 1.3. Ibrahim Sedron had strived to be in his team to victory by safeguarding his wicket at one end. However, the Sri Lankan bowlers did not allow the Afghan team to fulfill their objective. The Afghanistan team was able to score only 156 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in 20 overs. Ibrahim Sadrur remained not out at 67. Matisha Patirana took 4 wickets for 24 runs. Darshan Sanakar took 2 wickets. Man of the match was Matisha Patirana.
Straight away they ask the question. He tries again. This time he gets him. What a star, Matisha. Ball. He gets another. It's not. That's 4, and done the job required in that final over. Sri Lanka hang on, Sri Lanka celebrate. It's been a wonderful game. That's quite.
Terima Kutumi Pantamai.
And that's it on tonight's news, which is tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita, signing off with Kasumi. Stay safe.
Good night.